In 1932, Australia officially declared war on birds, not fake news, real soldiers, real machine guns, real government orders. The enemy, 20,000 emus that had invaded the wheat farms of Western Australia and were destroying everything in their path. So the government sent in the army to machine guns, 10,000 rounds of ammunition, trained World War I veterans, and the emus-1. The birds scattered every time the guns opened fire. They outran the trucks the guns jammed after a week of total humiliation. The major in charge said it himself. If he had an army as tough as these birds, it could beat anyone on Earth. Australia officially retreated. The emus never surrendered. Full story on our channel. Go watch it now. In 1932, the Australian military officially went to war. Machine guns, trained soldiers, a clear enemy, and they lost. Their enemy wasn't a rival nation. It was emus, giant, flightless birds. And what happened next is one of the strangest military operations in history. After World War I, the Australian government had given thousands of returning soldiers plots of land in Western Australia to farm. Many of them started growing wheat. It was tough work, but they were managing until the emus showed up. By late 1932, roughly 20,000 emus had migrated into the region, drawn in by the water and food. And they brought chaos. Emus don't just eat crops, they trample them. Their heavy feet flattened far more wheat than they ever ate. They tore through fences the farmers had built, leaving the fields in ruins. The farmers tried to handle it on their own. It didn't matter. The birds kept coming in numbers no group of farmers with rifles could realistically manage. So they did what any group of desperate war veterans would do. They asked their government for machine guns. Incredibly, the Australian Minister of Defence agreed. In November 1932, the Army sent Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery. He brought to Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. A cameraman came along too to film the easy victory. It was not. On the very first day, the soldiers spotted around 50 emus and tried to herd them into range. The birds simply split into smaller groups and scattered in every direction, making them almost impossible to hit as a cluster. 2 days later, Meredith tried again, this time setting up an ambush near a dam where over 1,000 emus had gathered. This was supposed to be the decisive moment. The soldiers waited patiently until the birds were at point-blank range. And then one of the machine guns jammed after firing only a dozen rounds. The emus scattered before the second gun could catch up. Meredith even mounted a machine gun on the back of a truck to chase them down. It didn't work either. Emus can run close to 50 kilometers an hour, faster than the truck could manage on the rough terrain. The ride was too bumpy for the gunner to aim. Worse still, the emus turned out to be almost absurdly hard to kill. They have tough hides and can absorb a glancing hit and keep running, only dying from their wounds much later. After 6 days, the military had used over 2,500 rounds of ammunition and killed only a few hundred birds. The story made headlines across the country. Members of the Australian Parliament openly mocked the operation. They joked that if any medals were being handed out, they belonged to the emus, who had won every round so far. Major Meredith himself later admitted that if he commanded a human division as tough as these birds, it could take on any army. The military was pulled out, but the farmers, still losing their crops, begged for the soldiers to come back. Remarkably, they were sent out for a second campaign a few days later. By December 1932, the operation was finally called off. Major Meredith reported 986 confirmed emu kills out of 20,000. The military had barely made a dent. The Great Emu War is remembered today as a rare case where a military operation was outmaneuvered by birds. The government never sent soldiers again. They solved the problem the boring way, with better fencing and a bounty system. If a war against birds sounds unbelievable, wait until you hear some of our other stories. Subscribe for more weird history.